In this question, it is given that there is a LC circuit which is having 0 ohmic resistance, and at t is equal to 0, all the energy is being stored in the capacitor, and the plate 1 is having the positive polarity. So let us draw the t is equal to 0 instant. So this is the t is equal to 0 instant. Now we will solve this question by comparing it with spring block problem, and this will make this question very easy to solve. So I am drawing a spring which is being compressed initially, and we all know that we are comparing this spring with this capacitor, and the mass is compared with inductor. So this is compressed initially. So when we will release this mass, and this mass will pass through this relaxed position, then at this position, at this will be the time which is t by 4. In this position, this capacitor will completely charge the inductor, and the energy stored in the inductor would be, in the capacitor would be 0. So I am drawing that instant. This is the instant in which the capacitor will completely charge the inductor, and the current flowing in the circuit would be maximum. Now this block will pass through this position. Okay. Now if after some time we have to find out the time in which the plate plate 2 will attain the half value of the maximum positive charge. So if this maximum positive charge is Q0, and the charge which is on the plate 2 initially is minus Q0, so we have to find out the time in which the plate 2 will attain the half of the maximum positive charge, which in this spring block system means that we have to calculate the time in which this block will let's suppose this is minus A, which is the amplitude, and this is plus A, positive amplitude. So we have to find out the time in which this block I am drawing the block again. So this is the block, I will draw it very small. So we have to find out the time in which the block will reach A by 2, because at this time if the block is at plus A by 2 starting from minus A by 2, then it means that the capacitor will again be charged by the inductor, and the polarity on the capacitor would be inverted, with this charge on the plate 2 is being Q0 by 2, because we compare the charge with the x, which is the displacement of the block, and when x will be equal to A by 2 in the opposite direction of the initial one, then this charge on the plate 2 will be minus, in fact plus Q0 by 2. So we have to find out the instant of time at which this will occur. We know that the time taken, I am again drawing the diagram with more clarity. So this is the mass, this is the relaxed position, and this is plus A, and this is minus A. Okay, so we need to find out the time when it will reach this point A by 2, starting from this point. Now we know that the time taken by the block to move from this position to relaxed position is T upon 4, and we also know that the time taken by the block to reach from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to A by 2, we can calculate this time, and let's suppose this time is T. So we know that we are using the equation of SHM, that x is equal to a sine omega t, and this x is a by 2. So we need to calculate only the time in which this block will move from 0 to a by 2. So x is a by 2 and this is a sine omega t. So we know that this omega t will be equal to pi by 6, and omega is obviously equal to 2 pi by t, and hence the time t will be equal to t by 12. So this time t would be equal to t by 12. So the total time will be equal to, I am writing it on the next page, that the total time will be equal to t by 4 plus t by 12. This time plus this time. So this will be 3t plus t, which is t by 3. Okay, so the total time would be t by 3. Now we know that the time period of LC oscillations is 2 pi by omega, where omega is equal to 1 upon under root LC, and t will be equal to 2 pi root LC. So if we substitute the value of this t in total time, this is small t, then it is t by 3, then this will be 2 pi by 3 root of LC. So the correct option will be option number A. Now we move on the next question. In this question, we have to find out the frequency of oscillation of this LC circuit. So this is a very simple question, and we know that these are connected in parallel. So the equivalent capacitance, C equivalent, would be 3C, and these are connected in series. So the equivalent inductance of this system will be 3L. So the frequency F is 1 upon 2 pi root of LC, and F will be, this is L equivalent into C equivalent, so F will be 1 upon 2 pi root of 3C into 3L. So F will be equal to 1 upon 6 pi root LC. So the correct option will be option number B. Now we move on the next question. In this question, it is given that initially you can see these switches S1 and S3 were closed. Initially they were closed like that, and this S2 was open, and this S1 and S3 were closed for approximately 1 second, and just after 1 second these S1 and S3 are being opened, and at the same time S2 is being closed. So first of all we have to find out the charge which is appearing on the capacitor as a function of time. Here is the equation, and we have to find out this x. So first of all we have to find out this charge, and initially when this switch S1 and S3 were closed and S2 was open, then we have to find out the maximum energy stored in this inductor and the capacitor at 1 second. Okay, so starting the question. Now we can see that initially at t is equal to 1 second, I am writing the equation of the current and charge on the capacitor and inductor, and then I will substitute the value of time. So the current flowing in the inductor, IL, will be I naught 1 minus, in fact 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau. Here tau is the time constant, and it is equal to L upon R. and the value of L is given as 1 Henry and the value of R is given as 1 ohm. So L upon R, which is time constant, is equal to 1. The unit of time constant is second. Now the maximum current which can flow in inductor is I naught, and I naught is equal to V upon R, where V is 1 and resistance is 1. So it is also equal to 1 ampere. So the current flowing through the inductor as a function of time will be IL is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus t. Now time constant is equal to 1. And also the time is equal to 1. So IL is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus 1. So this is the value of current. Now if we have to find out the value of charge on the capacitor, then we can say that Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau, where this tau in this case is equal to RC. Now substituting the values here, we know that Q naught is equal to C into V, where V is the voltage of cell and C is the capacitance. So the value of capacitance is 1 and the voltage of cell is 1. So Q naught is equal to 1 coulomb, and the time constant is also equal to 1 because R is also equal to 1 and C is equal to 1 farad. So the Q is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus 1 because we have substituted the value of time as 1 second here. So this is the charge and this is the current flowing in the inductor at 1 second. Now after this 1 second, we have separated these this resistance and battery and this resistance and battery from the circuit, and in the circuit there is a parallel combination of inductor and capacitor together, and they are both being charged by some energy. Now now the diagram says that this is the inductor and this is the capacitor. The energy stored in the inductor is equal to half L I square, and energy stored is equal to half L is 1 and I is 1 minus 1 upon E, so whole square. The energy stored in the capacitor is half Q square upon C, and C is also 1, so it is also equal to half 1 minus 1 upon E whole square. So you can see that the energy stored in the inductor and the energy stored in the capacitor is equal, and as we all know, the equation of charge in LC circuit is Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus, in fact Q is equal to Q naught cos omega t plus phi. This we all know. We have already discussed that the charge is a function of cos and the current is a function of sine. Now we can see that if we compare it with a spring block problem, then we can say that the moment at which the energy is stored in the block in form of kinetic energy and the energy stored in the spring is equal, then at that moment I can say that when energy of block, or I can say the kinetic energy of the block is equal to the energy stored in the spring, then at that moment the phase phi is equal to pi by 4. This we all know in SHM, and hence the initial phase of this circuit is pi by 4 because this circuit is started from the moment when the energy is stored in the inductor and capacitor is equal. So the initial phase would be pi by 4. And to find out the maximum charge, we know that at the time when the complete energy of the inductor would be stored in capacitor, the charge of the capacitor would be maximum. So when UL plus UC, the energy stored in the inductor and the energy stored in the capacitor, is combinedly equal to half C into half Q naught square by C, then this Q naught would be maximum. So adding up these two energies, half will be the, we know that these are equal, so this is 1 minus 1 upon E whole square, and it is equal to half Q naught square by C, where C is also equal to 1. So this is 2 into 1 minus 1 upon E whole square is equal to Q naught square, and hence this Q naught will be equal to root 2 into 1 minus 1 upon E. So if I compare it with this one, we can see the value of root 2 into 1 minus 1 upon E is 0.89. So the value of this is 0.89, 0.89. So if I compare it with this one, so I can say that x into 10 raised to power minus 2 is equal to 0.89, and therefore x will be equal to 89. So this will be the correct answer. Thank you. In this question, it is given that initially this 900 microfarad capacitor was charged to 100 volts, and this 100 microfarad capacitor was uncharged. Now this switch S2 is being closed for time t1, and after time t1 this switch is opened and immediately this switch S1 is closed. Now this S1 is closed for time t2, and after time t2 it was observed that the voltage across this 100 microfarad capacitor was 300 volts. So we have to find out the minimum possible values of these time intervals t1 and t2. So first of all, let us examine this question by energy. We can see the initial energy stored in this capacitor C1. Let us name the capacitor this as C1 and this as C2. So the initial energy stored in C1 was half C1 V square, and C1 was equal to 900 and V square was 100 square into 10 to the power minus 6. So we can see that this energy would be 9 by 2 joules. You can see that the 100 square would be 10 to the power 4, and 900 into 10 to the power 4 is 10 to the power plus 6, which would be cancelled by 10 to the power minus 6. And the energy stored in C2 finally after time t2 will be half C is 100 microfarad into 300 square, which into 10 raised to power minus 6, which will also be equal to 9 by 2 joules. So you can see that the energy of capacitor C1 and C2 are equal. So we can exactly predict that the complete energy of this capacitor C1 is being transferred to this inductor, and then this inductor transfers this energy to C2. Now comparing it with spring block system, we see that the minimum time in which spring will transfer its complete energy to the block in form of kinetic energy will be T by 4, where T is the time period of the total oscillation. So the time period T1 would be T1 by 4, where T1 is the time period of oscillation of these two. Now the time T2 in which the block will transfer, block is compared with this inductor, and the capacitor is being compared with the spring. Now the minimum time in which the block will transfer its energy to the spring will also be equal to T by 4, where T will be the time period of this system, this new system. Okay, so we have to find out T1 upon T2. So T1 upon T2 will be equal to capital T1 upon capital T2, and capital T1 will be equal to the time period we know. I'm writing it on next page. The T1 upon T2 is equal to capital T1 upon capital T2. So the time period we know in LC circuit is 2 pi under root LC1 and 2 pi under root LC2. Now 2 pi will be cancelled and L will be cancelled. So this would be equal to under root of C1 upon C2, and C1 is 900 and C2 is 100. So this ratio of T1 upon T2 this T1 upon T2 would be equal to 3. So this is the final answer. Now let's move on the next question. In this question, initially, as you can see, that this switch K1 was closed and this circuit was functional and this K2 was opened. So inductor was not in the picture initially. So initially this circuit was active and these two capacitors were charged by the battery, and this circuit was being active for infinite time, which is the fact that it is being given complete time to attain its steady state. So at the steady state, the voltage across capacitor C1 is V1 and this is V2. So V1 will be 10 volts, as we know that this cell will be dividing its total voltage equally in these two capacitors in steady state. So the energy stored in this capacitor C1 will be equal to half C1 into V square. So UC1 is equal to half, and C1 is 2 and V1 is 10 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So this is 10 to the power minus 4 joules, the energy stored in C1. Now when we are switching this key K2 in the active mode and we are turning it off, K1 we are turning it off, then the circuit which will be active will be the circuit containing this inductor and the capacitor, and inductor is having inductance of 0.2 millihenry and the capacitor is having the capacitance of 2 microfarad. So the energy stored in this capacitor is 10 raised to power minus 4 joules, and the current in the circuit would be maximum when this complete energy of the capacitor would be transferred to this inductor. So the energy stored in the inductor at the maximum value will be half L I naught square, and this energy would be transferred by this capacitor. So we are equating the complete energy of this capacitor with this maximum energy of inductor. So this is equal to 10 raised to power minus 4. Now the value of inductance is this is half, and L is equal to 2 into 10 raised to power minus 4, and this is I naught square, and it is equal to 10 raised to power minus 4. So this I naught will be equal to 1 ampere. So the correct answer will be A. Now we move on the next question. In this question, you can see that there are two capacitors which are connected in parallel to this inductor, and the values of initial charge and the value of capacitance are given in the question. So at t is equal to 0, this switch S is being closed, and we have to choose the correct option. Now what should we do in these kind of questions? We should know that as soon as this switch is being closed, these capacitor will attain a common voltage Vc, because at t is equal to 0, the inductor would not allow any current to pass through it, and therefore all the energy would be would be intact with these two capacitors only, and they will attain a common voltage at the same time. So the common voltage will be, we know that the formula for common voltage is Q1 plus Q2 upon C1 plus C2. So this common voltage Vc will be Q1 is Q and Q2 is 2Q upon this is 3C. So this is Q by C. This is the common voltage. Now the common voltage will be seen across this inductor also, because they all three are in parallel. So this common voltage Vc would be appearing across this inductor also. So the initial EMF across inductor would be equal to this common voltage, and it would be equal to Q by C. And this EMF is equal to L di by dt. I am just concerned about the magnitude of rate of change of current di by dt. So this di by dt will be equal to Q by LC. So option A is incorrect, because the energy would not be equally distributed, because the values of capacitance is different but their initial common voltage is same, so the energy would be different. So option B will also be incorrect, because we have calculated the value of rate of growth of current in the inductor initially. Now the maximum energy. Now the total energy which is stored in these two inductors, these two capacitors, is half C1 plus C2 into V common square. So the total energy will be equal to half into 3C into Q square by C square. So the total energy will be equal to Q square upon 3Q square upon 2C. This is the total energy stored in the capacitors. And when these capacitors will transfer this energy to the inductor, then the maximum energy stored in the inductor will also be this 3Q square by 2C. So option number C is correct, and hence the only correct option is option number C. So the correct option is option number C. Now we move on the next question. In this question, as you can see, there are two switches, and initially switch S1 was closed and S2 was open, so that this circuit was in active mode till it achieves its steady state. Now at the time when this circuit will achieve its steady state, this switch S1 was opened and S2 was closed, so that this inductor and this capacitor becomes in parallel. So we have to find out the time after closing this switch S2, when the energy of the inductor becomes 1/3 to the energy of the capacitor. So we can see easily that we have to find out the time at which the energy of the inductor becomes 1/3 to the energy of the capacitor. UL is equal to UC by 3. So let's suppose UC is equal to X. So UL is equal to X upon 3. So total energy UC plus UL will be equal to 4X upon 3. and this total energy will be equal to 4 by 3, where x is the energy of capacitor. Hence at that instant, let's suppose the charge on the capacitor is q, so the energy would be half q square by c. So this is the total energy, and this total energy will be equal to the initial energy of the capacitor, which is half q naught square by c, where q naught will be the maximum charge. So cancelling this, and we can see that q will be equal to root 3 by 2 of q naught. Now we know that the value of q, or the equation of q as a function of time, is q naught cos omega t. We all know this. So we have to find out the instant when this q will be equal to root 3 by 2 of q naught. So root 3 by 2 of q naught is equal to q naught cos omega t, and therefore we can see that cos omega t will be equal to root 3 by 2, and we know that the cos omega t is equal to root 3 by 2 when it is when theta is equal to pi by 6, which is 30 degree. Now this omega, this time t, will be equal to pi by 6 omega, and omega is equal to 1 upon under root of LC. So this time t will be equal to pi by 6 root of LC, and this C would be C2, because we are talking about this circuit only. So C2 is 2 microfarad. So this time will be equal to pi by 6 under root, the value of inductance is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 4, and the value of capacitance is 2 microfarads. So it is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So T will be equal to pi by 6 into 2 into 10 raised to power minus 5. So T will be equal to pi by 3 into 10 raised to power minus 5. This will be the time at which the energy stored in the inductor would be 1/3 to the energy stored in the capacitor. Thank you. In this question, we can see that there is a LCR circuit which is equivalent to a damped pendulum. Why it is being said in the question? Because we know that LC circuit is a oscillatory circuit which is equivalent to a spring block system or a pendulum which is oscillating. But if we include the resistance in the circuit, then inclusion of resistance will dissipate the energy of the circuit, and hence that will be equivalent to a spring block system which will have some friction or some dissipative force, or it would be equivalent to a pendulum which would be having some dissipative force, and as a result of which the oscillation will finally come to an end. So we know that in damped oscillations, the amplitude A will be equal to A naught e to the power minus bt upon 2m, where A is the instantaneous amplitude of the oscillation and A naught was the initial amplitude of the oscillation. B is the resistive force constant, the force which is dissipating the energy, and m is the mass. So if we write the analogous equation of charge, then we can say that Q maximum at any time will be equal to Q maximum initially and e to the power minus B. Now B is compared with resistance, because in this case resistance is responsible for the loss of energy. So it is RT upon 2 and L. We know that inertia is being compared with inductance. So this is the equation. So we can say that Q maximum square is equal to Q maximum naught upon e to the power RT upon 2L. So First of all, this graph is the exponential decay graph. So option number 3 and option number 4 are not possible, because option number 3 has a straight line decay and option number 4 is a constant graph. So the possible answer would be from 1 and 2. And obviously you can see that the time constant of this decay depends on tau, depends on L by R. So the circuit which will have greater inductance coefficient, greater L, will be the circuit in which the rate of decay would be slower. We all know that rate of charging or discharging is inversely proportional to the time constant, and time constant is directly proportional to the inductance. So in this case we can see that the inductance L1 is greater than L2. So if L1 is greater than L2, then the time constant tau 1 will be greater than tau 2, and if tau 1 will be greater than tau 2, then the rate of discharging of 2 will be faster. So you can see in the option number 1, the rate of discharging of 2 is faster than the rate of discharging of 1. So the correct option will be option number 1. Thank you.